Hey, good morning, and welcome to the integration of information and computer technologies in instruction. For the rest of this course, it's going to be called IICTI because, quite honestly, I forget what the letters stand for. All I know, and what you need to know, is that this is a course about how technology can be used and leveraged by you as a teacher to learn and to use with students to do things in maybe a different way, to learn new skills or to learn old skills and to do them in modern ways. So we'll be exploring a whole range of technologies. You'll be able to personalize your responses based on your identified needs and the things that you'll be teaching. But I want to take a few minutes just to review with you what this whole course is going to be about. So this is the interface we're going to be using. It's OWL. It's Western's version of Blackboard. And there are a lot of tools that I just want to give you a brief sort of overview so you can look around in the first few days of the course. So this first button, the home button, was going to bring you back to this home page. Basically site information and some links that Western thinks you need with regard to library use and tech support are always in this panel. On the right hand side, in the top right hand corner, is where you will see announcements. They're usually going to be in a video format such as this one, and instead of the blank screen that you see here, you'll probably see me in that window most of the time. Below that, you'll see the calendar, and if I move ahead to July, you'll see all of the course discussion dates are highlighted there, as well as your due dates, which are due towards the end of the course. The other tabs on the left-hand side, I just want to walk you through each of them, just so you have an idea of what's all about. Course information tab. This is basically about the expectations of the course, and the key thing to note here is that the activities that you do each module and your discussion of those things is worth a whopping 60% of your grade. So because this is a summer course, it's expected that hours and hours each week you're going to be spending online. So pretty much every day, try to check in and try to post at least one comment or answer one question. There's a lot to cover, and if you leave more than a day between your participation, you're going to miss out on something. So again, 20% per module. The collaborative inquiry project is worth 40% of your grade. I'll give you more details on that in the next few days, but suffice it to say that's the major project of the course. And there's a couple pieces of that we'll give you an overview of. I've included this time around a link to announcements. If you want to see past announcements, you can click here and you'll see a menu of all the announcements throughout the course. For the most part, if you see them and you're on regularly, you're going to see them in the upper right-hand corner of the home page when you log in. The assignments tab is where you will be submitting projects. There are two main things that are going to be submitted via the assignments tab. One is your independent project, which is part of the collaborative inquiry, and the second is your reflection on the course at the very end. Other things will be submitted and completed as you work through the course, and you'll include your work right in discussions. Generic content is something that I'd advise you to look at now before the course formally gets underway. This is something that the Ministry of Education wants embedded in all of the courses, so it's got a lot of content around collaboration and diversity, information on assessment and evaluation, what's inclusive education. It's something that you probably already know, but it's a good way to review the context for this entire course. The next three tabs, you're only going to see one. Well, you actually see all three of them, I think, the way the course is set up, but you'll only be dealing with the content in one of them. So if you're in part one, you'll see module one. I'll release module 2 when it's the right time, and module 3 when it's the right time, and you'll see that. I'm trying to keep the menu as uncluttered as I can. But basically, when you click into module 1, it's a series of web pages that are designed to lead you through activities and facts and lessons to sort of prompt your thinking and further investigation. You're going to do sort of work your way through that content and then jump into discussion to talk about what you've experienced as a person yourself, as a student and as a teacher, to talk about things that you know about that are pertinent, stories from the past, but also you'll be inclined to do some research to find other things that fit in here, whether it's news stories, articles, websites, applications. So you're going to be a big part of this course. If you ever lose your way in the working through the content, up in the upper right hand corner you'll see something called Index of Pages, and if you click there, it's a way to quickly jump to specific parts of the course where you might have left off, where you want to follow up, instead of trying to click all your way through the content from the very beginning. That index a page might be a good way to start. Most of the course is going to take place in forums. This is where we're going to interact as colleagues and co-learners. And I can't stress enough, this is really the heart and soul of the course. What you contribute and what your peers contribute makes this course as rich as it will be. So pay heed, participate well. I'll give you lots of information about what I'm looking for in your forum posts, but in your orientation, just take time to look in there and see what's there. So you won't see everything all the time. You'll hopefully only see the things that you need to deal with. The messages tool is really a personal email between you and me, or you and other members of the course. It's a way to share content in a sort of delivered way. One thing I would suggest to you is to go into the settings on messages. Some people don't have their phones or their computers set to alert them when they get messages from the system, from OWL, the e-learning course. So if you set yourself an alert, you can have messages forwarded automatically to a home email address so that you'll get notifications when things are happening that are important. VoiceThread's a brand new tool that is being included in the course for the first time. It's a way for you to include voice and video in your responses. And the first thing I've done is I put a question there to allow you to introduce yourself. So please click on that item, and then actually I'll give you just a really brief tour of it. So when you see something that I'd like you to respond to, you'll see a post there.
Hey, welcome to summer. My name is Rod. I'm the instructor in this introduction to...
And then you'll hear the conversation that other people may have posted on there. The way you add to it is you hit add comment, and you'll be prompted to either use a microphone or camera to contribute. It's a way to personalize the responses that you get, and to know that there are other real people in the course. So we'll use it here and there. I want to use it at the outset to sort of encourage you to step outside your comfort zone. For some people, putting their voice out there in an e-learning course is kind of threatening, but really this is a course about relationships and getting to know people as well as getting to know content. So I really want you to give a shot to VoiceThread. You're also going to post an introduction in the forums, but be sure to visit VoiceThread to add your voice and to hear the voice of others in the course. Towards the bottom, you'll see Collaborate meetings. This is a tool, Collaborate Ultra is a collaboration tool that allows us to meet in a virtual space synchronously. So rather than going in and seeing people post things at different times, we can all meet in a room. Part 1's during Module 3, you'll be called to have a meeting where you gather with other folks. This is one of the options you could have available to you. And the folks taking the specialist course, you'll be using Collaborate to actually host a workshop for Part 1 students. And Part 1 students, I'd like you to sort of set aside time in your schedule to try and dive into at least one of the workshops that's being offered by your colleagues. Again, that'll happen towards the end of July, but be alert for it, and Collaborate is the tool that we'll be using for that. The Help button will give you a menu of a whole bunch of things that you can search about how the whole interface works. So that's just a really, really brief overview of what's available in OWL. I'd like you to take a day or so to muck around and see how that all works. Be sure to go through the generic content before the course starts, and to post an introduction to yourself both in the forums and in VoiceThread. Very soon it's going to be really busy. We're going to be learning lots of stuff. It's going to be exciting, but it's also going to be challenging because you're going to be spending a fair bit of time online. So find a good, comfortable place to work, and I look forward to seeing you online very soon. Enjoy Canada Day.